Welcome back to the channel, guys. And Pokemon Go GBL has transitioned over to a new season, and this season brought in pretty interesting buffs to some Pokemons, and a lot of Pokemons are back in the meta. Stuff like Pelipper and sort of you can say Mantine. So before we discuss and go into all that, just to recap the previous season, and the last season was like really good for me. I was able to reach a lot of my goals and was able to get to the point wherein I was aiming at for a long time now. So ever since I've been to Legend for the last couple of seasons, I wish that I get a chance to be at the leaderboard, and finally I was able to make it through. So, and I was able to do it pretty convincingly as well. And the reason for that is I attained the rank as highest rank as 214, which was during the Great League, and I think it's a very good improvement on my part because I was really struggling to get to the legend first, and then when I was at legend, I used to instantly drop and not be able to climb. But this season turned, excuse me, this season turned things around. Things turned around, and I was not only able to get to the leaderboard, but I also beat my personal best elo this time around and reached all the way up to 3494, and was able to maintain my elo around 3300s in the 3300s before the last day. I guess I basically collapsed. I tried to maintain my position at the leaderboard, but somehow it didn't work out. So just wanted to share what was I able to achieve because I am not able to make the videos regularly as I used to. But yeah, like since I made a new Pokemon, Aurorus for the new season, and I really enjoyed playing with it. I recorded some battles and just felt like that I want to share this Pokemon with everyone. So as you know that we are featuring Aurorus today, and it's a pretty decent Pokemon in my opinion with all the Noctowls running around, and then we do have stuff like I think I saw a couple of Guzzlords here and there, but the primary reason that I'm running Aurorus is because of that Noctowl. So it's really good in my opinion, and we are going to see some amazing plays with Aurorus and Froslass to some extent as well. And I think Froslass will steal the show in most of the games. And Pelipper, we have Pelipper as well, but here since we are leading Pelipper might not be that useful. But yeah, you can see it in the battles though. So the team, as you may know, I am using is Pelipper, Froslass, and Aurora. So without further delays, let's start with the battles and see how the battle goes. So this is our first battle of the day, and it's early season battle, so it may or may not be that good. So some of the teams were really meta, but some were really spicy picks. I would like to say that, and the last one especially is very spicy, and I recommend that you definitely watch that one. I specifically placed that one because I find it very interesting. So we moving to this battle, we were able to catch a Thunder Punch onto a Froslass, which was quite neat, and we are throwing this Avalanche because Hypno is in Avalanche range, and that's why the Hypno would shield. And since they shielded, I returned I gave up my shield as well because now I would be farming some extra energy, or not. I think Hypno would have gotten. I think I could have found one Powder Snow worth of extra energy, but I didn't feel like it because I wanted to just win that matchup, and it's glad that I did win that matchup because they have a Toxic Rock in the back, which is very bad for Aurorus. Aurorus being ice and rock typing will take double super effective damage from that Toxic Rock. So I shielded up. I think they were still not at Sludge Bomb. But as I said, I don't want Aurorus to see that Toxic Rock, and hence I shielded that. So they come in with their Greedent, which is fine with me, and I would be able to throw this Meteor Beam. And for some reason, my opponent is throwing Body Slam, and as I said, these battles may not be that good. And as you can see, Body Slam is not the way to go, definitely, because because of Aurorus's rock typing, which resists that normal typing. So Meteor Beam does massive amount of damage onto the bulky Greedent, and if my opponent goes for Crunch, I think that would KO. But again, they're resorting to throwing Body Slam for some reason. So Aurorus will die here, but I think it's sort of good for me because I would be able to farm down with Pelipper, and since the Toxicroak was almost dry on energy, they will be taking Hurricane. So Pelipper will just one shot this. I think it can one shot 2 Toxicroaks with that Hurricane. So yeah, GG's to my opponent. Moving on to the next one, and we are in a Charizard lead, and it's a party hat Charizard as well. So, and it's a Dragon Breath Charizard as well. So my opponent is just investing some late TMs, I guess. Party hat Charizard didn't have Dragon Breath, or they evolved during one of the community day classics or something like that. So Charizard will be getting one shot with the Weather Ball. So my opponent decides to let go of their Charizard. So I have a shield advantage and the switch advantage as well. So in comes their Vaporeon, and that's where I said that the battles may not be as meta specific as some of the higher rank battles. So I think I let go of this charge move because I do have Froslass in the back, which will cover the Vaporeon very well. And with shields down, I guess Froslass pretty much can run through an entire team basically. So they go for the Aqua Tail, and I shielded because I wanted to keep my Froslass healthy, and as well, like I don't want Aurorus to see this Vaporeon. So we go for the Shadow Ball to secure the knockout on this Vaporeon, and in comes Obstagoon, which is also something that I don't want Aurorus to see. So we go for this Avalanche to do some massive damage onto this Obstagoon. So we shield here because we felt like we would be able to outpace, but they are running Obstruct. So we go for this this Avalanche, and I think it was a CMP. If they were running Night Slash, I think they would have been able to pull that one off, but yeah, it is what it is. GG's. So picking up a negative lead this time with Dragonite. So I tend to stay in a bit just to analyze what I would do and swap in with come in with Froslass. So they swap to Gardevoir, and this made me think that they maybe they're running Dragonite double charm team, which is not okay for me. At that time I wasn't really sure about Aurorus's bulk, with that whether it would be able to take Charm or not, and Charm being nerfed this season, I think that probably was the reason that I was able to get to the charge move on my Froslass, which is quite neat. And they go for a charge move, which is fine, and now I farm down this Gardevoir all the way, which is very good for me because in comes Toxapex. So this is very good for my Aurorus in the back, because after taking this Hurricane damage, I can just go for that Meteor Beam onto the Toxapex. I'm not sure why I'm saying Toxicroak. So they go for the Brine being super effective, but it's not a very good move, so it will not do that much damage. And Meteor Beam will also boost my attack, and yeah, bulky Toxapex just will go down. So Aurorus is decent in terms of bulk, so it will be able to take this Dragon Breaths, and we would be able to reach this Weather Ball, which will simply knock out the Dragonite. And I think I could have just farmed down as well, but yeah. Moving on to the next one, and we pick up a Whiscash Lead here. So it's a very good lead for Pelipper, because Pelipper will resist those mud bombs and mud shots, and Blizzard also is neutral because of the water typing on Pelipper. So we grab a shield, and I think if my opponent would be would have been counting the moves, they would not know that I didn't have the Hurricane banked. So we go for this Hurricane now, and if my opponent double shields, I will just swap out. But my opponent don't shield, and it was a CMP tie as well. So yeah, Mud Bomb I think would KO, or it does not. So we would be able to farm them down, and we do not have a move loaded. So Guzzlord comes in, which is quite good because we do have 2 ice types in the back for this Guzzlord, and they swap in to Noctowl, and it was an impulsive swap. I think ideally I could have stayed in with Aurorus as well, because Aurorus is a very good counter. I think it's probably the best counter to Noctowl on my team. So ideally I could have stayed in, maybe landed a Meteor Beam and boosted my attack, and that's why I just simply let go of my Froslass as well, because at this stage I wanted to just have some fun with the Aurorus. So why not? We go for they go for the Sky Attack. So very good bait from my opponent's end. So we go for this Meteor Beam, and Meteor Beam will just one shot that Noctowl. I don't think it had enough health to begin with. So we go for this Weather Ball. I think I really should have committed to a Meteor Beam there just for the BM. But yeah, I just wanted to see that how much damage it will do. It's not like that I would see Guzzlord more, but yeah, I just wanted to have some check on Aurorus that how much damage it will do. And picking up another Dragon Lead. So and this time it's Guzzlord. So Guzzlord seems to be a pretty popular pick in the Great League remix for some reason. And as I'm using Froslass as the safe swap, I just instinctly swap to it. But these Dragon Tails are just chunking away. But Froslass being spammier, it will be able to dish out a lot of damage. And in comes Toxic Rock, and at that, and I thankfully I'm able to get to an Avalanche, but it was quite late that like after throwing this Avalanche, I realized that it's a poison jab, and that I would be able to get to another Avalanche, which is quite neat because I would be able to get rid of this Toxic Rogue, which would be problematic for my Aurorus in the back. And in comes Shift Tree. So again, I was pretty nervous because I need to reach a Hurricane in order to knock this one out. And but again, my opponent is not running Snarl. I think they are running Sucker Punch or something like that. So yeah, I think my opponent really was not using. Is not a seasoned player, and I am able to get rid of this Shift Tree now. So all that is left for Aurorus to do is just clean up this Guzzlord. So Guzzlord will go down to Weather Ball. I think it will survive based on Guzzlord's bulk. Or not. I think Aurorus is just too OP. I'm just underestimating it. So GG's to my opponent. Moving on to the next one, picking up a Shadow Granbull Lead, which is not quite good for my backline, or especially Froslass, because Froslass will not be able to take those charms really good. But thankfully, to the charm nerf, that I'll be able to get to this this Weather Ball as well. So this will either grab the shield or will do massive amount of damage. I think it would have knocked out even knocked out that the Granbull at that range. So I need to shield this Crunch here irrespective of yeah, I want to or not. So they come in with the Whiscash, and here later in the game I will do a slight misplay. I'll try to force a CMP, but you'll see what will happen. So I invest a shield here just to keep my Froslass healthy, and I'll try to force CMP there, but I think I miscounted at some point of time, and my opponent is able to throw the Mud Bomb, which is not very good for me. So I bring in my Pelipper in the hope that we are able to get over the ball. So definitely it was crucial because now we are able to get rid of this this Whiscash, and they bring in their Granbull, but they have Toxic Rogue in the back, which is not quite good for me because Toxic Rogue is doing double super effective damage with those counters. So we go for this Weather Ball, and thankfully we are able to reach another Weather Ball. And at this stage, even though we are able to get rid of the Toxic Rogue, but you'll see me that I'll just stop the recording here because I thought I had lost, but I had a Pelipper healthy and one wing attack from Pelipper, and I think it was a simul KO. So yeah, it was a crazy game, and I think at one stage I thought that I should have thrown Meteor Beam onto the Toxic Rogue, but then I realized that Meteor Beam would not have KO'd, even though it's a hard hitting move, harder hitting move. But since it's resisted, I think it would not have knocked out the Toxic Rogue. So I think I played to the best as I can and ended up securing a draw there. So GG's. Moving on to the next game, and we are in the Froslass versus Scissor matchup. So it's good that we are seeing Scissor here because Scissor is running Bullet Punch, which again would be doing double super effective damage to the Aurorus. So I shielded there because I had a move loaded and I wanted to get off this move to whatever comes in. So in comes Lucario, which is not quite good again. And even though I tried, I think there is no win con for me here because I think here I was presented with a very brief win con, and I think I messed it up here. You'll see why, because Lucario has a move loaded, and here I just allowed Articuno to throw this Icy Wind, which brings me down um, to the Para Punch range. So Lucario will definitely win CMP over pretty much anything. So even though I get to this Meteor Beam, but yeah, I think even if I had not done that, like I had not taken that charge move from Arctic, I think still Lucario would have countered me down before I got to a Meteor Beam. So it was a 50-50 kind of situation, but my opponent really played well, and the Lucario basically swept my entire team. So yeah, GG's to my opponent. Moving on to the next one, we are in a Tentacruel matchup. So my opponent does a really great catch by catching this Hurricane onto their Steelix, wasting a lot of my energy. And I think they're running Thunder Fang as well. This is some kind of Fang. I think it's Thunder Fang, and they go for a Psychic Fangs, reducing my defense. And we go for this Avalanche, and thanks to that Hurricane, this Avalanche would KO the Steelix. So I would be able to get to another charge move, which is quite good for me, because now either I'll grab the last shield, or I would just KO the Steelix. And my opponent lets go of their Steelix, which is quite good for me, because Aurorus definitely didn't want to see that Steelix in the back. So we are still not out of the pickle, because the Tentacruel is still alive, and we need to reach Meteor Beam in order to knock this one out. So I farm some extra energy and go for this Meteor Beam, and if this connects, this will definitely KO the Tentacruel at that range. So Tentacruel will go down, and they have a Jumpluff in the back. So this game is basically wrapped up on its head, because yeah, two weather balls would definitely one boosted weather ball would definitely KO this Jumpluff, which my opponent recognized and conceded the game. So yeah, GG's. Moving on to the next one, picking up a Fletchinder Lead. So my opponent running some spice here, and they are not running spice. They're basically serious here, because the Fletchinder is barred up all the way up to 1400 CP. So maybe since I think is Talonflame banned in Remix, because if it's banned, I think it's a good pick in my opinion. But yeah, it is what it is. So they bring in their Jumpluff, and I go for a bait by throwing this weather ball, and my opponent does not shield. They just have nerves of steel, maybe. Acrobatics would do a lot of damage here, so I ended up shielding this move, which is rightly so, because they went for acrobatics, and I found some extra energy on my Froslass. And I really love Froslass Ace Swap in pretty much anything that is sort of a restricted meta. And we shield this charge move as well. Unfortunately, it ends up being an energy ball, but this will allow us to farm down this Jumpluff, and Froslass with this much energy, I think, can pretty much beat everything in the meta. And the worst possible thing turns up, because it's an Obstagoon. So we are not out of danger, definitely. And I am able to catch this Night Slash beautiful, because this Night Slash would have almost KO'd the Froslass, and they get an attack boost as well, which is very unfortunate. So I come in with Froslass, and thanks to that catch, I think I just might be able to outpace this Obstagoon. And yeah, we grab the shield. Even if my opponent is a Saxo up, I think I would have just brought in Aurorus and had a weather ball ready. So Obstagoon goes down, biggest threat to my Aurorus went down. But yeah, this is the battle that I wanted to showcase. So my opponent brings in a core breaker, like a really big core breaker for this team, which is Dewgong. And it's very difficult to deal with. At this point, I was like, what should I do? So they go for this Icy Wind, reducing my attack by one stage, and we go for this Hurricane, expecting they don't shield, because our attack is already lowered. So they do not shield, so we Dewgong is I think is in manageable range now. So I thought that, okay, let go of this Pelipper, and I bring in my Froslash. I'll try to just farm a lot of energy, and my opponent, maybe they tried to catch Shadow Ball. I'm not sure what they were trying to do, to be honest. So they bring in their Alolan Marowak, and Aurorus will be taking neutral damage from Alolan Marowak thanks to that rock typing, unlike Froslass, which will be taking super effective damage. So we go for this Meteor Beam, and yeah, this Meteor Beam is just going to one shot the Alolan Marowak, which was pretty insane. But my opponent brings in Lopunny, and Lopunny unfortunately has a fighting type fast move. So they'll just farm down my Aurorus, which is very, very bad for me because I didn't know how much what the fast move they have, and they have Fire Punch as well. So this is definitely not good for my Froslass here. But yeah, I mean my opponent just rocking absolute spice here, and if you see it in a way, they just hard countered me due to some reason, running like stuff like Lopunny and Dewgong. Lopunny survived that avalanche and is able to hit your charge move, which basically eliminates me from this game. If I was able to KO Lopunny at that range, I think I would have been able to win that game. But yeah, my opponent really played well, and they just outspiced. I think I'm not running Spice anymore with Aurorus because Aurorus is a very meta Pokemon at the moment. But but yeah, it is what it is, and thank you for watching today's video. And if you enjoyed watching this one, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. And I'll try to post as much as I can. I do upload YouTube shorts regularly, so check them out. And until next time, peace.